Hey guys, come see me. I'm having all sorts of troubles here. So for some reason my OBS would not connect. My OBS would not connect for the life of mine. And so I don't know what is happening. I'm gonna have to uninstall it and install it again, see if that fixes anything. But Facebook would not let me connect at all. So how are y'all doing, Jump On friends? I'm so sorry about the delay. So I had to improvise a lot of stuff around here. So I would come live tonight for you. So let me know if you see me and hear me fine before we get started. This is a cute project we're going to be working on. The pattern is already available in my Etsy shop. You will be able to see it there. A link in comments in the description of this video. So if you see it okay, let me know, friends. Let me know. Because I gotta figure out what's up, you guys. So it looks like this is the way we're gonna have to do it, because I was not able to connect like I normally do. It will just kick me out. So I guess I'm not sure if it's Facebook or what. I have not had this problem in a very long time, so who knows what is causing that. But anyway, I'm glad that you made it. So hi Debbie, how are you? So let's say hello to me. I want to make sure that you guys are there and that you are commenting and that you see me and hear me okay before I get started with this. So I am here on my laptop trying to see my video, but I don't get to see anything, you guys. I don't know why. I mean, if this is the way my page shows to you, it really sucks. I mean, from what I see, I have no idea why it's always been like that. I seriously don't think that Facebook likes me. But let me just know if you see it, okay? Hi, Diana. Diana, sorry, honey. This is away from me and I have very horrible vision. You bought, awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Hi, Mary. How are you? Hey, Debbie. You see me and hear me fine. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate you, hon. All right. Okay. Well, then it looks like this is how it's going to go tonight. Okay. So for those of you that are watching me for the first time, my name is Luz Evans. I'm the artistic designer here at Larith. And tonight I'm bringing to you this bunny design. Okay. So this pattern is now available. So if you look in the comment section of this video, you're going to find a link pinned there. And if you click on it, that will take you straight to this pattern. Okay, this is the bunny that we are creating tonight. So I know that the view is not what we are used to, but this is the only way that I'm going to be able to do it tonight, because I was not able to connect the way I normally do. Why? I have no idea. I tried all sorts of things and nothing would work. So hopefully next time will be better. Okay. So, but it looks like you are seeing me and hearing me. So let's go ahead and then get started. This is the bunny design that we are working on today. And I really hope that you have fun creating this cutie. Okay. So this is a no-sew project. And so I am using a combination of different materials like fabric. In this particular case, I'm using fleece and I'm using foam sheets. Okay. Now, you can also use, like for the dress, I'll tell you something that I did, and maybe you might want to try that, okay? But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and put it to the side while we get started on this cute design. Okay, so I'm going to start by wrapping things up, okay? Now, I got to remind you guys that normally this is a repetitive process, okay? I'm going to wrap up the face or head of this bunny with you. And then you're going to wrap up the body, okay? Like the way I have it here. I have already wrapped it up for sake of time. You're going to cut 2 pieces, okay? One is the one we're going to use for wrapping it up. Must be a little bit larger than your piece, okay? So that way you can fold it, or you can glue it behind on the back of your piece. And then you need to cut one to size, okay? So that way we will cover, once we're done with the design, we'll cover the back, okay? So one needs to fit and the other one needs to be larger so we can wrap up the piece with it, okay? So anyway, but let me go ahead and show you. We're gonna use also some polyfill. The polyfill is normally to give it a little bit of volume or dimension. We don't want them flat. Can you have your pieces flat? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. They might not look as nice, but you can definitely wrap them up without fabric. You can also use batting material if you choose to do that. You can also use sponge if you want to do that as well, okay? So they're all different things that you can do. So I'm going to use, first of all, I'm going to apply a little bit of hot glue to my piece. And then I'm going to glue this on top just to make sure. Are you seeing me fine, or do I need to turn this a little bit more? Like so. So this, just so you can hold it in place like that, you see? Okay. So now that you have it that way, I gotta look for the pretty side of my fabric. So we are gonna proceed to wrap this up, okay? I'm gonna push in on the sides. I'm gonna push in that polyfill. And then I'm gonna start applying my hot glue to the edge of the piece on the back, of course, okay? Like this. And I'm going to do it all the way around the piece until I'm done with it. Now remember, the whole idea behind this technique, guys, is so you end up with smooth pieces. Your piece must not look wrinkled in the front. If it's wrinkled, then that means you're not pulling enough on the fabric, okay? So take your time when you are wrapping up these pieces. That's another reason on why I like using fleece for these designs. I think that fleece is more forgiving than felt. I mean, you can do it with felt too. There's nothing wrong with felt. But I think definitely fleece gives you a little bit of break. It's more forgiving. And you don't have to worry so much about not being able to pull on it or undo wrinkles and things like that. So in my case now, I am cutting the excess of the fabric, so I really don't need the excess. Okay, and so this is what it's gonna look like. So this is how the piece is gonna look. You see how smooth it is? This has no wrinkles. And then that's the back. Now remember, the back is gonna have a cover. Okay, both the head and the body are going to both have a cover. Awesome. Thank you, Kathy. I really appreciate it. Hi, Donna. How are you? Or Dina. I'm sorry. I'm this far and I cannot see even with glasses. So, but anyway, so you're going to follow the same process with these two pieces. Hi, Steph. How are you, hon? So that would be the face or the head and then our body base. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the other pieces like the ears and the arms, okay? Now, because we're not sewing, remember, we're going to glue them. And I'm going to show you how we're going to glue these pieces, okay? So all you're going to have to do is when you apply your hot glue, you're going to have to go to the very edge of your piece and apply your glue, okay? And then you apply the piece that goes on top, okay? It's two sides, right? Front and back. So I have already done this for the sake of time. These are the arms for the bunny. Now, one thing to know in regards to the bunny arms is when you are stuffing this piece, we don't want to overstuff pieces, right? Because remember, we're only relying on hot glue. You can also use glue for fabric. That will work perfectly fine. The only difference is it's going to take you a while for it to dry, or a little bit of time to dry. But when you stuff these arms, you're going to leave about 2 fingers of this piece on top, on this part of the arm, which is the kind of like the shoulder part of it, okay? You're going to leave it without any stuffing. So do not stuff 2 to 3 arms, 2 to 3 fingers, okay? No stuffing on this section right here. Why? Because we're going to glue it towards the back and then we're going to bring it towards the front. If you stuff it, it's going to fight you when you try to bend it so you can bring it to the front of the bunny. Okay, the bunny is gonna be holding a carrot. Okay, so we need to have that flexibility. We're not gonna apply wire to these arms. You could, but you don't need them. Okay, so but that's the only thing you need to think or be concerned about when you are stuffing this arm. Leave 2 to 3 fingers without any stuffing on this section. All right, so that's with the arms. Then with the ears, I already made one ear here, and I'm gonna show you how I did it. Okay, so for this ear, I'm gonna go ahead and glue it. Okay, I'm gonna glue this. Now I trace them on the wrong side. Okay, so that means that I need to see the pretty side, right? Okay, so I'm gonna turn it around, and I'm gonna make sure that it's aligned and everything. Okay, and I'm going to now apply glue, guys, to the very edge of the piece, the closest I can to this piece. Trying to see if I, yeah, that's fine. The closest I can to this piece, guys. This no is the other way. Like so. I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting my 2 pretty sides. This one is gonna be like so. Okay, so now that I have the right size, the right side on both, so I'm gonna start applying my hot glue, you guys. Okay, remember, the closest you can to the edge of the piece. I'm gonna start applying my hot glue to one side, and then I will lay the other part on top of this one. You're gonna leave an opening on the bottom, okay, because we're gonna be applying some glue to this. Not glue, wire. I'm gonna apply some wire so it can stand up, okay? So if you apply way too much glue, guys, and if you see it squeezing out of your piece, then that's fine. Just let it cool. And you later are gonna come with your, I'm gonna come back with your scissors and you're gonna trim it off, okay? So it's not the end of the world. Nothing's gonna happen to it. We're not gonna stuff them either. Okay, we're not stuffing these ears. But we definitely do want to allow for the time for these pieces to cool, okay? All right, so I'm gonna leave it as that, and I'm gonna bring my other piece. So this is gonna be like that. This is gonna go like that, okay? So then there's a section here. The ears are gonna have this little piece here. This is made out of foam sheets, okay? Now, you can also use cotton fabric if you want, and I'm gonna show you a trick when we talk about the dress of the bunny. But hi from Indiana, welcome, hon. Hey, Tanya, hi, Kitty. So, but what I'm gonna do on this, I'm gonna apply some hot glue, okay, on this I call them overlays, okay? But they're pretty accents, like accents, so you can customize and embellish your pieces so they can look a little bit prettier. I'm gonna bring this ear next to it so that way I know that this will go about the same height, right? So there's some similarity on these pieces. Okay, so I'm gonna glue that on top of it, and this is what it's gonna look like. Now I'm going to add wire to this, but I'm gonna wait a little bit until it cools, and that way I can glue it and everything else. So I'm gonna leave this on the side for a minute. We're gonna come back to add the wire, okay? So, but in the meantime, let's go ahead and talk about the carrot. This bunny is gonna have a carrot, okay? And we're gonna glue this too. So same process on this one. I'm gonna glue it, and then I'm gonna turn it inside out, okay? The other ones I'm not turning inside out. I'm just gluing them as that on the wrong side, right? Because I wanna see the pretty side. This is gonna go the same way, except I am turning it inside out. So I'm gonna pay attention to my lines first here. Okay, so I'm gonna let it cool again. And once it's cool, I'm gonna bring a tool to help me turn this carrot inside out, okay? to see the pretty sides. That's my tracing line. I'm not sure if you can see, but that's my tracing line. Okay, so again, I'm gonna let it cool. Put it to the side. And let's go ahead and work on, I'm gonna talk to you about the overlay or the dress, okay? Now, the dress, this is the dress I'm doing, okay? This is what the pattern is gonna look like, okay? I have already cut it with a pattern. But what I want to tell you is, look at the fabric I'm using. This fabric is cotton, okay? But what I added to it is I use some fusible pellon to the back, okay? So I got a piece of pellon that is fusible, and I ironed both pieces together. Why did I do that? Because I want this piece to be a little bit stiffer, okay? If I were to leave just my regular cotton fabric, it's bendable, too thin, it has no texture, okay? And it also unravels on the edges, okay? And we're not sewing, remember? So, but what I decided to do is I bought me some, I bought a fusible pellon, okay? Or stabilizer. And I glued it to the back of the fabric. After that, I let it cool. I traced it and I cut it, okay? And this is what it's gonna look like. Now, if you don't wanna mess with doing any of that stuff, you can just find a nice looking color or pattern of felt. And you can use felt material, or you can use foam sheets too. Like you can use like in this case, see this is glittered. You can use the pattern of the dress and cut it out of foam sheets, okay? And that will look cute too. You can embellish it with anything you like. But this is what I chose to do, and I think it's perfect, okay? It's a stiff, okay? And it's a stable, and it's not coming undone on the edges, and it's great, okay? And it's a pretty pattern too. So this is what I'm gonna use for the body of this doll. Now, let's go ahead and now I'm gonna bring the body, okay? I'm gonna bring the body, and I'm gonna bring this. Hey, actually, I'm gonna work on this first. So on the face, we're gonna add color, okay? I like adding color to these faces. I normally like to give it a little bit of, put a little bit of blush on them, okay, for a little bit of color. And so I'm gonna get my little makeup brush. Oh, thank you, Tanya. I really appreciate you. Deborah, this is fleece. I mean, this white fabric is fleece material. You can also use felt though. If you have felt and that's all you have and you don't want to go spend any more money, that's fine. You can also use felt. That's no problem. I like to, for these dolls, for these kind of projects, my go-to fabric is always fleece. Unless I don't have it on hand or I just don't feel like using it or something. But I would say 99% of the time I use fleece. That's what I use on these pretties. For the back, I can use same material or I can use felt. That would be okay too. Now, this option here, guys, of the cheeks and the color and all that stuff is completely optional. If you don't like adding color to these dolls, it's okay. You don't have to do it. I highly recommend it though, for obvious reasons. I think that it does help. Okay. So that's what it's gonna look like. All right. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attach this head to that body. Okay. So this is how it's gonna go. I can either put it on top a little bit. Now we're gonna, when I say it on top, guys, I don't mean it all the way like that, like very low, okay? And I don't mean it like that too. Now this, if you wanted to do this for this to be sitting on top, that's fine. You could do it. As a matter of fact, maybe that's what I did on the other one. Let me just double check it. What did I do? I can see on the back. Yep, that's what I did on the back. So you can do it. It can just sit on the back, okay? I mean on the neck like that. Or what you can also do, what I normally also do is just a finger, okay? That's as much room of this piece you're gonna use to put this right on top of it, okay? Something like that would be good. You see the difference? So this one is right on top of that little neck, and this one is right, sits on that. It would sit on it, okay? So let's just stick with the way I did the other one. I'm gonna glue it like that, okay? So in this section of the neck, we're gonna apply a little bit of glue, and then this one will sit right on top of it, okay? So let's do that. Now, I don't care right now about it because we're gonna add wire. Wire is what is gonna bring it the support it needs, okay? So I'm gonna bring these pieces together, and I'm gonna try for this to be as centered as I possibly can, okay? We want it to be centered. Okay, so now I'm gonna give it a few seconds. Okay, I'm gonna put it to the side, and let's come back to the ear so we can add the wire, okay? So you're gonna need a piece of wire on your supply list. I give you the information on this wire, okay? We're gonna do a fold on here, and I normally do it with my pliers. Okay, so the fold is gonna look something like that, okay? And so I'm gonna stick this here. You can do it all the way to the top, okay? Or you can do it like right behind the ear, okay? If you leave it right behind the foam sheet, okay, it won't be noticeable as it would be if you put it all the way up here, okay? So I would probably just put it right behind to the foam sheet, okay? So in here, we're gonna add a little bit of hot glue to close it, okay? And so that way that wire won't be moving around, okay? So I'm gonna add a little bit of hot glue in there. And I'm gonna squeeze it. Put a little bit of pressure in there. Okay, and so this is what it's gonna look like. So now I have both ears. Now, if you wanted to, you could also add a trim to these ears, okay? Make it look a little bit prettier, embellish it a little bit more. You can do that as well. Me, I think I just left them as that, okay? So we're gonna stick with that. So this wire is way too long. We're gonna cut it once we get ready to glue it to the head, okay? All right, so I'm gonna put it pull it to the side. And then look, so if we were not to add anything to this, guys, look at how this is. We obviously don't want it like that, right? Now, these items don't have a base to keep them steady or to keep them solid like that, okay? So that's why we use wire, okay? So now I'm gonna use my other piece of wire. Now this is way too long. So I'm gonna make it a little bit more straight. And this is what is gonna keep both pieces together, okay? So now this is way too long. I'm gonna cut it a little bit on this side. Oops. On this side. I'm gonna put it in the center, okay, like that. Make sure that it's centered. And now I'm gonna add hot glue on top of this, and then you're gonna cut a strip of fabric, okay? And after we apply the hot glue, we're gonna put this on top of it, and that's what is gonna keep that in place, okay? It's gonna seal it. So let me bring my glue gun. Now keep in mind also we're gonna have a cover on this, so all this is not gonna be seen. This is not gonna be visible. Okay, so just cut a strip of fabric, and you're gonna lay this on top. Apply pressure. and cut the excess. Okay, and if you want, you can turn it around and you can apply pressure, okay, like so. Now you want to give this time to cool too, so it can be solid, okay? Now because of time, we won't be able to do that. We're gonna keep working on it. But what I wanna show you is this. Now look at what happens to your piece. Now your piece is solid, right? Now if I shake it, nothing happens to it because that wire is very resistant, okay? And that's how we're able to make them solid and to stand and all that stuff, okay? So wire is the answer for us, okay? It's very important because remember, we don't have anything on the back holding all these pieces together. It's like putting a puzzle together, but it needs to be stable, okay? All right, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good, you guys. Okay, I don't see any comments here. Okay. Okay, so I see no comments. I'm assuming you guys are all okay, right? Okay, so now let's go ahead and talk about nose and eyes and stuff like that. Now, I have here a set of eyes. Now, my patterns do not come with eyes, guys. Those are sold individually, okay? So for this design, I'm using these. Now, there's other sets of eyes that you can choose to use instead, okay? Like I have this here. I have these right here. They can look really nice too, okay? Depending on what kind of look you're going for, okay? So you decide. So I'm going to stick with the kind I used on the other one. So I'm going to lay them on top like that. Now I'm going to bring a piece for the nose, okay? This is foam as well. Now I'm not sure if it was here. Yeah, I think it was here. Now this is a flat piece of foam, guys. I personally think that if I add heat to them, I can make them look better because they would look dimensional, okay? So this is what it would look like, okay, with the eyes and the nose. Now, I'm gonna warm this up because I want it to be a little bit more dimensional. I don't want it flat, okay? So the way I do that is I need my iron, just because that's what I have available anyway right now. Normally I have other things to apply heat, but they are in storage right now. So I'm gonna bring my pad. Actually, let me turn it the other way around. Okay, and just so it can get hot, I just turned it on. Yep, just turned it on. We're gonna wait a few seconds. It gets hot really quickly. I did the heat the other day for the first time. It works awesome, right, Sherry? It works really. You can tell the difference, guys. It does make it look nicer than if you just place your piece flat as is, okay? I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but you can definitely improve it if you decide to add the heat to it, okay? All right. Okay, this is hot enough, okay? So now I'm gonna put this on top of it. You see how it's flat right now, and then it lifts up a little bit and then starts going from the center. It's gonna start bubbling up a little bit. I'm not sure if you will be able to see it from here. Hopefully you will. But see what it's doing? So I'm going to make sure, push it down a little bit on the sides because I want it to bubble up in the center a little bit more. Like that. See? Okay, so I'm going to remove it. And I'm going to put it here. Okay? And the reason I'm holding it down is because I want that to be even. I don't want to be too lift up on side or something uneven. I want it to be completely touching the whole area on the bottom, because that needs to fit right on that bunny's face. All right. And so this is what it's going to look like. Okay. So this is not flat anymore. It's bubbled in the center. It looks lifted up. It looks dimensional. This is not flat anymore. All right. So now after I do that, let me get rid of this. So I don't want to burn myself here. So after I do that, guys, I'm gonna bring this bunny. Oh, and let's also talk about the whiskers. Okay, so this bunny is gonna have some whiskers. Okay, this is thread. Okay, this is upholstery thread. I like upholstery thread because it's thin enough, but it's stiffer. Okay, it's not as thin as the regular thread. Okay, and it's stronger, it's stiffer, and it's perfect for the whiskers. Now, I do iron these so they can be straight, because if I don't iron it, it's gonna be curly. I don't need it to be curly. So you can iron it with a regular iron, or you can do it with a hair iron, right? You can just run it through your hair iron real quickly and it will straighten it. Okay, this is not curly anymore. So I do about 3 long pieces, and then I make a knot in the center. The knot only helps me handle it better. Okay, that's all it does. It doesn't really do anything special other than helping me hold it together, and so have better control when I am trying to put it on here. Okay, so now this nose is gonna go like that. And then on this design, I also gave it a little bit of like a little line on the mouth, not the mouth, but under the little nose, like this. You see it? This black line. Okay, now that is foam sheets. Okay, now you can also sew with thread that, like a strip of it. Or do what I'm about to do. You're gonna use a little piece of black foam sheet, okay? You cut a little piece. In this case, I have a strip, but this is even too thick. I'm gonna make it a little bit thinner, okay? So I'm gonna cut a piece that is gonna be maybe about 1 inch to 1.5 inches long, okay? And I'm gonna cut a little bit. I want it a little bit thinner than what I have right now. Something like so. Okay. It's gotta be noticeable, obviously, but you don't want it too wide. You don't want it super skinny. I mean, either way, it's gonna look fine anyway. Okay, but this is probably almost a quarter of an inch. Okay, this is almost a quarter of an inch, a little bit less than a quarter of an inch wide. Okay, and so I'm going to glue that, okay, to the bottom. Make sure that it's kind of like in the center, right, of this face, and then the nose will go on top. So it's gonna look something like this. Now we'll fix the whiskers once we glue them in, okay? But it's gonna look something like that. This is what it's gonna look like. Now I gotta straighten everything. Right now I'm standing it up, so it's not looking straight. But now I'm gonna go ahead and start gluing things, okay? So first I'm gonna glue this little strip. Be careful with your hot glue. You don't want to add a lot of hot glue. And make sure that this is straight before I hold it down. Okay. Then this, when I glue this is gonna go a little bit on top of that black line, okay? In right there, Let me put this straight. That way would be fine. So I'm gonna add my hot glue to the edges of this nose and a little bit on the center, like so. Not sure if you can see it. Okay, and then I'm gonna put this right on top of that. And the whiskers, I'm gonna fix them here in a minute, okay? I'm just gonna keep them right there where they're at while this attaches and cools and glues there. Okay, so that's what it's looking like. And now I'm gonna glue the eyes right above that. Gonna go something like so. Okay, so I'm gonna add my hot glue to this. That's one. Remember this pattern, it's available in Etsy, guys. If you want to work this project, which is super cute, you can get the pattern by clicking on the link that you see in comments. It's super cute. Okay, so now this is what we have, you guys. Now you see how pretty. Now, on the sides, I'm going to trim a little bit on these whiskers, okay? Like so. I already trimmed that side. Now I'm going to do the other one. Okay, so this is what we have. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of color. On top of those eyelashes, I like to use some makeup that is a little bit darker in color. I'm going to need my little brush. Now, you don't have to do this step, guys, if you don't want to. All these things are optional. I do them just because I think that they add to the look of the design. It makes it look more homemade. More handmade, I should say, not homemade. So look at the difference between one and the other, you see? So one, after I do the color, the other one looks a little bit lighter. I think the one with the color, it kind of sets up the eye, right? So that's the reason on why I like doing these things. Okay. Okay. And now I'm going to get a brown marker, you guys. And I'm going to do some eyebrows here. Okay. Just a couple of lines. One here and one there. Okay. Super easy. What do you think? Where did you get the eyes? Donna, I sell these eyes. Well, I don't sell them already made, but I sell all the templates that you need. So they're digital files and you need to add resin to them. Okay. And then you're going to make them look glossy like that. After you cut them, you know, you can use them. They're ready to be used. I have like also, I have lost track of how many different shapes of eyes I have available there, guys, but you can check them there out on my Etsy shop, friends. You will be able to find them there. I think I need something a little bit darker. Give me a minute. Let me see if this will work better. Yeah, a little bit better. Okay, so that's the first one, and then I'll just do another one on this side. You're welcome. You're welcome, Donna. So yeah, I have different sizes too. So for smaller designs, this is kind of like on the larger side, but we have other sizes too that are a little bit smaller. Okay, so now she's got her eyebrows, her whiskers, her cheeks, her nice brown eyes, her little mouth. And we're getting ready now to do the rest. So now I'm gonna glue the dress. And so the dress is just gonna go on top like so. Look at how pretty. Isn't that super cute? Look at that. As simple as that. Now we're gonna glue this, okay? We're gonna glue this. All right, so I'm gonna add a little bit of glue here, you friends. So first on the neckline, to secure this top part, the parts that will touch the body. Okay, here, I should have not added glue here. Let me get rid of this. With what? With this. So you need to be careful where you're adding your glue, because I don't like to see glue from the back, you guys. Okay, so don't get too excited with your glue and start adding it everywhere. You are just adding the glue to the sections that you know that are touching the body, okay? Because this is being glued obviously to the body of the bunny. So the sides and the bottom, okay? Now I'm gonna apply pressure. I'm gonna hold it down for a little bit while this is cooling a little bit. It's super cute. Super, super, super cute. Now look at that. Now we're gonna add a bow here, okay? And here, if you want, you can add a little trim. So I'm gonna use this little trim from, this is from Hobby Lobby, okay? And I'm gonna start it here on this side. You can embellish it with, I mean, if you want to do it all the way around, I don't think it needs it, but you definitely can do it. Or you can use rhinestones or sequins or lace, anything that you want to try. Anything you would like to try. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. See? You can also give it like a necklace of some pearls or something like that. That would look cute. Now on the bottom, I'm gonna put the same trim just to help with the bottom of this dress. And I'm gonna do it all the way across. Okay, all the way across. So I'm gonna cut this here. I'm gonna cut this here. Okay, so this is what it's gonna look like. All right, so now let's talk about the hat, okay? We're gonna have a hat for this bunny. And I have this one, and I'm gonna add a trim to it, okay? So this is what it's gonna look like. This is gonna go like this. The flat part is what is gonna be glued to the top of this head. Like so, okay? This is what it's gonna look like on the back. So it just sits on this line. Now, if you wanted the front to look shorter, well, then you bring it more towards the back, okay? If you think the front part is too long, you bring it more towards the back, okay? And you glue it, and that excess that is on the back like that, you're gonna cut it, okay? You can cut it completely, or you can cut some slits and fold them and glue them towards the back. That's another option, okay? But I mean, either way is fine. So I'm gonna go ahead, guys, and apply the glue, and I'm gonna mark when I'm gonna start and when I'm gonna finish. Okay, so I'm gonna get a pen or a marker or something. Okay, put your doll on the flat surface. Okay, so that way you know that this is touching the surface. And look at it, make sure that they're even on both sides, which I think she is. Okay. And right here where it's gonna start, you have only to mark one side, so that way it will tell you where to start. I'm gonna use yellow, so it's not that noticeable. Okay, so I'm gonna start from there. Oh, I need to know where the glue is gonna stop. Okay, yeah. So if I know that that's gonna start on that mark, right? And that's gonna sit all the way there, like so. Then I'm gonna mark where it's gonna end, so that way I know where to stop with the glue, right? There. Okay. So do you understand what we made those two marks? So I have one, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's right there. So that way I know that it's even, because I already looked at it from the front, okay? But I know where to start applying the glue, and the other mark will show me where I need to stop with the glue, okay? And then I bring this and I glue it, right? Cute hat. It's super easy too. How big is she? I'll tell you, Deborah. I think I put it on the description. I don't remember exactly, but I think I included it in the description of the item. If you look in Etsy, read the description, it will, I think I included it there. I know, I think, yeah, for sure I did. I'm getting into the habit of including measurements in there, guys, because sometimes I just list it and I forget about it. And then some people ask me about it and I don't, it's like, oh, I forgot about it. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Okay. So I'm going to try my best at keeping straight here, you guys. Okay. So see? Okay, it's right on the line. And that's what she looks like from the front. Now, towards the end, we're going to glue some hair here. If you want it. It's optional. You can also, I'm going to use a boa, but you can also use some fur if you want. Okay? That can look cute too. Okay, so now let's talk about the ears. Actually, I should have done the ears first. Okay. So here first, guys, what I'm basically after, I want to make sure that I am straight on this bunny. Okay, so it's kind of hard to tell right now because I added the hat. But make sure your bunny is straight, and then you can play with your placement, okay? If you want them more together, or if you want them more separate, or if you want one more towards the side and one straight, right? So you play around with it. So, but what I'm gonna do is on here, I'm gonna add some glue to the bottom. You see where? And I'm gonna glue them. I'm gonna glue this to the back. Now we're gonna secure these ears with a piece of fabric again, just like how we did with the with putting the head and the body together. That's how we're gonna do with the ears too. See that? We're gonna secure them with some strips. Okay. So, but here, I'm going to add the glue again. Am I doing this right? Yeah, they're right. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of pressure, you guys, on there. And I'm going to bring my strips. This one, I'm going to cut it in half. Okay, I'm going to cut it in half. And then on the back, now this is way too long, right? These are way too long. So I'm going to trim them. I don't need these wires to be that long. Okay, so I'm going to apply my glue here. And then my strip of fabric here. Cut the excess. And then I'm going to repeat the same process with the other ear, okay? Same process with the other ear. Cut the excess too. So I'm going to let them cool for a minute like that. All right, so in the meantime, while this cools, so we don't mess with it, let's go ahead and talk about the carrot, okay? Let's talk about the carrot. Those ears need to cool so they can stay in there. Okay, so now this one, remember we had to turn it inside out, right? So I'm going to turn this inside out if I can. Okay, and push it a little bit. Slowly, because remember this is what you call it, this is glued. Now we're not going to have a very sharp tip, and that's fine because remember we have glue in there. All right, but this is what our carrot is going to look like. All right, so now we're going to stuff it. We're going to stuff this with some polyfill. We're not going to overstuff. Okay, like so. In this section here, we're going to tie it up with some twine or some thread or a piece of yarn or ribbon or something, okay? Like in this case, I'm going to use some of this green ribbon. So I'm going to push the polyfill. There's about 2 fingers with no stuffing, okay? So that way it's going to look like that once we tie it up. So I'm going to do maybe 2 to 3 times, okay? 2 to 3 times. Right here, I'm going to put that. And right here, I'm going to make a knot. Like so. And then I'm going to make a bow. Like so. Okay. And this is what it's going to look like. Now here, I'm going to put a little rhinestone on there. So it can look cute. Little something. You can put a button. You can put a flower. You can put some kind of decor in there. And this is going to help us keep that that knot in place as well. Okay. Now here If you want, you can give it a little bit of greenery. So I have some pieces, some small little pieces here that we can stick in here like that. Okay, I have 2 of them. So I'm gonna stick them together. And right here, I'm gonna push this a little bit so to make room for them. I'm gonna stick this 2 in there. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of polyfill in there. I mean polyfill, hot glue in there so they can glue to the fabric. And this is what the carrot is gonna look like, okay? So now the carrot is ready to be used. Easy, easy peasy, okay? All right, so now we're gonna bring back our bunny. Should be fine now. This is what she looks like. Isn't she adorable? So look, she's strong. Nothing's gonna happen to this bunny, okay? Nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna fall apart. It's gonna stay steady. Okay, so now the arms. Okay, here are our arms. So we're gonna start from the back, guys. And these arms, one is gonna come kind of towards the front, like that. Both of them are gonna come to the front, okay? And we need it so you can hold the little carrot, right? Something like so. Something like that. Something like that. Right? Okay. So look at where I'm gluing the arm. The arm is going to be glued to the back. Okay. So before you commit to any glue, play around it. Look at your placement. If you like it, is it folding enough? Okay. Is it maybe you're making it too long towards the front? Okay. Just measure it. And once you find where it should go, then you apply your glue. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to place my little carrot. Now I'm going to glue the carrot towards the front of the dress, okay? And then the little arm, I'm going to glue it to the carrot. So that way it all stays together, right? All right. So I'm going to glue, once I know the placement of the carrot, I'm going to leave it like that, but I'm going to add my glue, okay? And I'm going to apply pressure. And here on top a little bit too, so it can have a solid hold. And then the arm on top of the carrot, I'm going to add a little bit of glue where that arm is going to have contact with the carrot. And then I'm going to put the carrot right on top. The arm right on top of that carrot, like so. Now on the other end, if you want, you're going to do kind of like the same thing, okay? The only difference is that you can either add another carrot, or you can put a little sign, or you can put an egg. There's all sorts of embellishments right now at stores. You can pretty much just pick anything you like. She's super cute. I know, Dewey, huh? I'll measure it at the end, Deborah, so you know. But I include the measurements in the description. All right, guys, so this is what it's going to look like. Look at how pretty. Okay, so now the other arm. Okay, now the other arm. I think I did a little sign, guys. These are from Dollar Tree. You can buy these little packets. They're chalkboard wood stakes. A chalkboard wood stake. Okay, you can write on it whatever. Or you can also use, if you want, you can use an egg. Now, if the egg is too bulky, okay, you can cut it in half. And so that way it's not that bulky. You can glue it to the what you call it? You can glue the arm to that egg. Okay, like so. Now, if this egg is too bulky, you can glue it, okay? So let me check. Let me see something. It is too bulky. You would have to probably cut it in half. So that way it's not too fat and it's also attached to the body. But what I did with this one is I used a little sign and I said Happy Easter. And I used a pen, an acrylic pen. And I think the other one that I used died. So I'm going to see if this one works, guys. These are acrylic paint pens. Should work, but I don't know if it will. We're going to have to try. We're going to have to try it. Hi, Deborah. Oh, I keep on talking to you. Deborah is the only comment I see. And Terry. Hello, Terry. All right. So happy Easter. Now, I'm not a great writer, all right, guys. Happy. I made it too big. Let me do another one. Why not? I think that one will wipe out with water because it's acrylic paint. I'm going to do it in 2 lines. Now, keep in mind my pens are horrible, okay? Easter. I need better pens. Now, it's because it's mirror image, you see it backwards. But it says Happy Easter. So I'm going to glue this to the front. So it's going to go something like this. Something like that. Okay? Now, do you have to put something on the other side? Not necessarily. Not if you don't want to. All these things are optional, guys. So you can also use other kinds of embellishments. So remember that it's pretty much whatever you want. So anyway, so I'm going to, how did I hold the other one? Now this one was larger. See, this one was larger. It was thicker too. So this one is going to have to come a little bit more towards like that so the arm can reach it. And I'm going to glue the stick first. So a little glue on the stick part. Closer to the edge. And then my arm, glue to that. Like this. And that's gonna come this way. Like so. I need to glue it more. Yeah. And then it's gonna go like that. Okay. So I'm gonna add glue again to the stick. And then I'm gonna glue the arm to that. Like so. So this is what it's looking like. Okay. Now I gotta do a bow for that neck. Need to do a bow for that neck. All right. So see, now she's holding something on both arms. Now let's work on a bow for her. And I'm going to cut this a little bit. So a little bow. This is going to be also a simple. Did I do a double? Yeah, I did a double. I don't like this hot pink. I had another one pink that was. Hold on. Give me a minute to locate my ribbons, you guys. I'm going to use this one. This is a smaller. let's use this one. Or a lilac. Do I have a lilac one? I do, but it's too thick. So I'm gonna make a little bow here, guys. So I'm gonna make four loops on it. And I'm gonna tie it up with a pipe cleaner. Okay, so I have now this bow, simple bow, okay, simple bow, and I'm gonna glue it to this neck here. Now let me, okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of hot glue on the back, and I'm gonna glue it to the neck. And I'm gonna add a rhinestone on that, on top of that. So it can be, or a flower, A flower would be pretty. Let's do a flower. These are from Hobby Lobby, you guys. They're felt. They're felt made out of, they're felt flowers. Small flowers made out of felt. Look at that. Oh, she looks so cute. So pretty. Let's see. Like so. Like so. Look at that. Oh, she's adorable. Okay, let's do a little bit of hair. I said I wanted a little bit of hair. Oh, where's my boa? I think I left it in my closet. Give me a minute. Okay, boa. Small piece. I don't need to overwhelm her with a lot of hair. See all the hairs. So little piece right there. Like so, okay? So just a small piece. This piece is not too long. This is about, I cut it about 4 inches long, okay? It's about 4 inches long. So I'm gonna add a little bit of hot glue there, right under the hat. I'm gonna push on that. And so now she has the hair. You cannot see it because of the shadow of the hat, right? But in person, you can definitely see it. Now on top, I think I did a bow too. Yep. On top, I gave it a bow too. And I did a little bit of, made it look a little bit nicer with some tulle. So we're gonna do 1, 3, 4 pieces of tulle here. In the center, I'm gonna tie it up with a pipe cleaner, some sort of pipe cleaner, white one preferably, here. And I'm gonna do another bow for this, just so you can look a little bit nicer. Okay, something like so. So I'm gonna glue this right here on top. So I'm gonna glue it in one of the ears. Let me make this flat. Yeah, like that. So it's nicer. It's better to hold like that. So I'm gluing it to the ear. So just right there. And I'm going to do a bow on top of that, okay? Now you can also do it on each ear if you want to. But that one I'm just going to do it on this side. And see if I can find that other ribbon. I don't know what I did with it. I found this one, but this is hot pink. I don't want the hot pink. I want the other one. I don't know what I did with it. Give me a minute. Let me try to find something that I can use instead of that. That's still hot pink. That's too much. Well, I don't know what I did. But I'm gonna use this one. It's pink too. I wish I could find the other one. The other that is not as, it's darker, but it's not hot pink. And I don't know what I did with. Maybe I used it all. Who knows? Anyway, I'm gonna make another bow. 2. Normally I make 4 loops on these bows, so they can look with a little bit more more body, more volume. I like to make them flat with my pliers. That would make it easier for me to glue. And that's gonna go right on top of this. So I'm gonna open the bow a little bit so it can look a little bit bigger. And that will be glued here. There. I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna push it a little bit. Like so. You see that? Okay, I'm gonna put a flower up there. Something that is a little bit so I have these right here. And I'm gonna put this flower right on top or in the center of that bow. Okay, so it's gonna look something like that. All right, so now for her, the only thing that I have left is to cover the back, okay? So remember, we're gonna cover that back. So I'm gonna do the head first. I'm gonna do the head first. So let's add all our glue. So this can be attached and covered. And then the bottom. Guys, if you're joining me now, please remember the pattern is available in the shop. Okay, so I'm gonna face it up so I can push pressure and that can be attached. Okay, all right, so that's the cover on the back for the face. Now let's just do the body and that will be it, and we'll be done, and we'll be done with this cute little bunny girl. We'll be ready. We'll be done with her. Ooh, I think this gun, guys, has seen better days. It's so messy. I think it's time to Get me a new one. It's so messy. It is starting to leak everywhere. Okay. Messy, messy, messy. Okay. So I'm going to turn it around so I can add pressure, you guys. See now how all the back is covered now? All right. And that, my friends, is all we are doing. Okay. Now, if you want, you don't have to, but if you want, you could add some highlights with white color, white paint. I think because this bunny is white, it's really not going to do anything to it because it's not going to be noticeable. But we can definitely add maybe just a little touch of white to the nose if you want to, but doesn't really need it. All right. And so, friends, this completes now your class, your tutorial for this beautiful bunny girl. So tell me what you think. Let me know if you like her. I love her. I think she is super adorable, super cute. The back is super neat too, very clean. Okay, so people don't need to see the mechanics of your dolls. Now, if you wanted to make this bigger, remember you can enlarge your pattern. You can add wire to the back. You can make her a door hanger, hanging on your door. You can take my patterns to a copy center, enlarge them, and you can definitely make yourself a door hanger out of these. These are perfect for your wreaths, centerpieces. You can use this as a pick. Believe it or not, you can add a pick to the back and insert it into your floral foam and then design something around it. It would look beautiful. So what do you think? Oh, look at that adorable face. What do you say? Oh, super, super cute. You love her, Janice. I love her too. She's super sweet. That face really melts my heart. Makes me smile. Super cute. Okay, friends. So thank you for joining me tonight. It was a pleasure. I am so sorry that, you had to wait for me. I hate making you wait. So hopefully next time, we'll be able to connect like we normally do. But we had an awesome class. I enjoyed it. I'm very happy with the end result. And I think that you can have fun creating this cute little girl. Remember, this and many, many other patterns are available in my Etsy shop. You can go to my Etsy store by clicking on the link that I pinned here in the comments and description of this video. So you can go check out everything we got there available. Different styles of eyes, different sizes of eyes, also depending on what kind of project you're working on. And definitely we have a lot more, many other bunnies and many other Easter designs and spring designs as well, okay? So thank you for joining me tonight. I hope that you decide to come back for more. I'm gonna try to finish my my bunny. That bunny is gonna require sewing, okay? I still need to add a base to it, but this is the bunny that we're gonna do next, okay? This bunny sits down. Is gonna have a little base for it to solidly sit on a little wood base or some kind of base that I'm gonna show you how to make, okay? So that way you can accessorize it maybe with some greenery, some eggs, maybe a carrot, who knows, whatever you want to add. But this will be our next Easter project. I think you're gonna love it. For those of you that like sewing, this design will be coming next week, okay? So stay tuned for the details. But in the meantime, and I'm gonna leave you with this little girl, okay? If you wanna try it, you see how pretty she turned out. And it's easy to make. And stay tuned for more, okay? So thank you so very much. You have a wonderful evening, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.